Hello and welcome to Kim Reads Reddit Stories. I'm Kim. This is my laptop that you can't see. It has Reddit stories on it, and I'm going to be reading them. And we're going to be reading specifically silly Reddit stories because if you're like me, who consumes way too much true crime and Reddit, am I the starfish? And am I overreacting? And things like that. The drama, it wears on us. I'm not for the drama right now. I just want to read funny stories. In this economy, in this political climate, give me the funnies. Okay? So, without further ado, also, I just want to say I'm very happy that you're here with us today. Why am I talking about myself in the third person? I don't know. Me, myself, and I, that's the thing, right? It's just me. Hi. It's me. It's just me. We're not going to do that. No copyright here. Hopefully it was off key and off note that YouTube won't pick it up. Hopefully when it does its scan, it won't detect that. Okay, one can hope. First story. Today I messed up by lying to my wife for 13 years. That is some dedication. Today I messed up by lying to my wife for 13 years. My wife hates orange and lime flavored candies. I love them. Well, love the oranges, like the lime. So she passes on the orange Starburst to me. She passes the orange and green Skittles to me. She passes the orange and green gummy bears to me. This has been happening for 13 years. What she doesn't know is that the green Haribo gummy bears are actually strawberry. Shortly after we married, for one reason or another, I looked at the back of the Haribo gummy bears package and discovered this. I've never said a word. I've enjoyed eating them green, aka strawberry. I've never said a word. I've enjoyed eating my little lie. Pretty little liar. Until last night, we had some gummy bears and she opened them and she started to hand me the orange and green ones. But after a few minutes, I saw her looking at the back of the bag. Then I saw her eyes get real big. She turned to me and asked if I've known that the green bears were strawberry. She always thought they were lime. I was honest and nodded my head. That's a green flag. At least he was honest when put on the spot. The line by omission, though? I don't know. You gotta ask your maker about that one. She always thought they were lime. Wait, I think I read that already. The look of betrayal was unreal. She asked how long I've known, and I was honest. I told her as long as we've been married. She quit giving me the gummy bears she didn't like. She was even eating the orange ones out of spite. Love a petty queen. Love it. Love to see it. I don't think I'll get any more gummy bear discards after this. Time to buy my own. Edit. We don't eat these every day, a few times a year at most. I don't just get the rejects. It's a shared bag. Whenever she grabs a few, she would pick out the orange and green and hand to me, just like I would give the pineapple to her. Bleh. TLDR, never corrected my wife by telling her she gave me strawberry gummy bears. She thought they were lime. Now she knows, and spite eating my favorites. I mean, she assumed. And what's that saying? Assuming makes a butt out of you and me. Maybe they're both wrong for this. If this was Am I the Starfish, they would both be the starfish. I think it's silly. I think it's funny. How would I feel if my partner lied to me for 13 years? I'd be like, bruh. But also, that's on me for giving him the rejects. But then he likes the rejects, so it's a win win. That's on me for assuming. And I would think it's funny. I'd be like, dang, what the heck? 13 years you kept this up, bruh. You're just never gonna tell me until I figured it out. That is dedication. Are you a spy? Are you a villain? What else haven't you told me? Sus. Comments. Every year for her birthday, my step grandmother received a gift of chocolate covered cherries from her husband. When he died and she married my grandfather, he thought it would be so thoughtful to continue the tradition. She took one look at the bow, stood up, dumped it in the garbage, and declared, I'm not spending another 30 years pretending to like those disgusting things. Oh, she put her foot down. She's like, never again. I've had it up to here. New grandpa seems like a thoughtful guy. That's so sweet. It's almost sacrificial. I was thinking the same thing. The fact that he was willing to put away his pride and do something that he knew would brighten his wife's day, regardless of it being an act of kindness from her previous husband, speaks volumes about OP's grandfather. I think most men would be too scared or threatened to continue such a tradition, but not their grandfather. I love that. I mean, I feel like if your partner loves something and you love your partner, you'll get that for your partner, even if previous partner of your partner did that for your partner. That's a lot of partners. But if you followed along, hey, partner, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, yeah, but yes. Had 30 years of loyally shoving them down. 31 years was just a bridge too far. LOL. 30 years, man, at that point I'd be like, I don't know, maybe it made the previous husband happy to do that for her. And maybe she's like, he's happy giving them to me. I will take this sacrifice and shove them down. So, but yeah, dang, 30 years? Bruh. My mom didn't know that a local pizza place gave free breadsticks with a large pizza. My dad had been eating them on the way home with the pizza for 10 years. I feel like a lot of people do this, maybe not just guys, but I think girls might do it too, you know? Um, because when you're in a relationship, like what's mine is yours kind of thing, and like your food becomes their food and vice versa. And like sometimes one partner just has too much of their share. And so sometimes you just want your own stuff, you know? So I get it. I will admit to a car donut on occasion. Go to pick up a half dozen, usually ask for one in a separate bag that I eat in silent bliss before coming back. You gotta get a Baker's dozen. It has 13 donuts, or 12 if you ask the people I'm buying donuts for. Sneaky, sneaky. And you get it with no bag, no napkin, no witnesses. Y'all are stealthy with your food. I always get an extra thing of fries. These are my car fries. You're a car fries kind of guy. She's even eating the orange ones out of spite. You're both hilarious. You've got a great union. Plot twist, OP was actually looking for a way to get out of eating the orange ones, so decided to sacrifice the green ones. If it works, it works. Part of his evil plan. That's called 4D chess right there. Talk about it, partner. We're still doing the partner thing. I can just imagine the look of satisfaction on her face as she bit the orange little heads off, too. Yeah, I legit lost it at spite eating my favorites. This is gold. I hope you can both share a laugh on it soon. Might take some time though. Ha ha ha. We laugh on a daily basis. We love to have our fun arguments. She just couldn't believe I kept this from her for so long. Dude, I hear about guys that cheat on their wives, but what you did, only God can save you now. Yeah, girls are serious about their food. Like, touch my fries, you die, kind of thing. Touch my fish, you got a death wish, kind of thing. Touch my steak, your knees, I will break, kind of thing. Touch my burger, you're in for a murder, kind of thing. That one's kind of dark. I'm gonna stop it right there. That's a good place to stop. Yeah. I don't know if that even gonna be enough. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned out of candy. Or fries. I'm just saying. Serious about them fries. Wait until she finds out the green Skittles are a green apple. LOL, I haven't brought that up yet. She doesn't know about those either. The lies continue. The plot thickens. The pudding sets. The green apples. Such a Reddit thing to do. The wife here, we even got some Christmas ones that were all green and red for our kids' stockings. And I said, hey, they didn't make the green ones. Lyman these. They should always do that. He didn't say a word. We have two kids and matching tattoos. So I guess we will just have to work through this. Once you get the tattoos, it's permanent. You think the kids will make it permanent? Or, the marriage and the vows? Nope. It's the tattoos. I'm just kidding, guys. Obviously. Or not obvious, because I'm just a stranger on the internet. You don't know me. I'm just kidding, guys. This is how you end up that one guy in college who said something off the wall bizarre like, the pink starbursts are licorice flavored. And then everyone stopped to stare at them like what? Wait, is that true? Hold on. Pink starbursts. The audacity, the travesty. Okay, it's a lie. You sit on a throne of lies. I swear, that person is spreading propaganda. That's so wrong. LOL, but I can't think of a better way to keep the kiddos away from the pink ones. Oh man, these kids are gonna have to go to therapy. Have you seen those videos of parents pretending food is spicy so that the kids won't eat them? Bruh, diabolical. Diabolical. I told my kids that when the ice cream truck plays music, it's to signal that they are out of ice cream. Meet you in hell. Oh my god. The trauma. Man, that's some betrayal right there. Parents, the ones who are supposed to protect you, guide you, raise you, betraying you like that, they will have trust issues. Trust issues. That was a silly one. Silly wabbit. The pink starbursts aren't for kids. Today I messed up. My 20 female girlfriend of 2 years told me the music that I 25 male played during SMEX is weird and a major turnoff. A little backstory. When I first started having sexual relations, I researched into ways to be better as I was a little stiff and pretty much had no idea what I was doing. I read online that you can play music and match the rhythm in order to put on a better performance. I searched lovemaking songs and started slowly creating a playlist in which I was comfortable matching the rhythm. Boom, boom, pow. Do, 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 boom, boom, pow. It's hot right now. My pits be sweaty. My pits, my back, my pits, and my back. Okay, anyway, there are a few songs to my playlist. However, there is one song in particular which actually happens to be my favorite that my girlfriend hates and says turns her off in a major way. I don't understand why it has taken her 2 years to tell me she hates that song. It's a good lovemaking song with good rhythm. I feel the way I messed up is I could have possibly asked her previously if she likes a playlist or any songs she'd like to add slash change. But to leave it for 2 years thinking our measurable life is great, but in her eyes has just been ruined by my music, has left the whole situation feeling awkward, and I'm a bit annoyed. I pretty much played this tune every single time, so the amount of time she must have not been enjoying it when I thought the complete opposite is annoying but also embarrassing in ways. However, not to mention my previous partners, however, they never complained about the song, so maybe it's just her, or maybe they didn't want to tell you either. They didn't want to ruin your groove. They didn't want to put a commotion to the rhythm of the ocean. I'ma stop now. It's messed up, the relationship, TBH, because measurable stuff feels awkward now. The other day we were having schmez with no music, but I was still thrusting to the tune playing in my head. She recognized this and asked me to stop. I thought this song was perfect, and I always thrust along with the tune, and it feels it gives me the perfect rhythm for doing the D2. I usually bust to this song and find it devastating she hates this song. Oh my goodness. Is it the song that turns you on or what? Just the rhythm of the ocean, of the commotion of the motion. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. OP has attached the song itself. Feel free to listen, and I'll link it in the description. It's pretty funny. TLDR, she hates my lovemaking tunes and didn't tell me for over 2 years, making schmizzle now awkward. No way. Can you imagine listening to this song during schmexy time? Who would be turned on by this? You know, it's OP's fault for thinking this is attractive. Like, what? What are you, a computer? Are you a robot? Like, what is happening? Who told you this was smexy? What? Oh, to each their own, I guess. Comments. No way can someone be this clueless. No way, I refuse to believe it. First, you shouldn't be playing the same song every time you boom Big Bang Theory. Second, it should never be this song. It's absurd that this was even thought of, joke or not. Period. Who told you this was a good idea? Third, you should be asking your partner what music they want or if they want music at all. True, true. Don't be a selfish lover now. I'd be too busy laughing my butt off if this song came on in the moment. I would be too. That's a fair sentiment. Cause what? Oh my gosh, it gets worse the longer you listen. I'm crying with laughter. Thanks, OP. I listened to that song and literally have tears in my eyes from cracking up. Thank you for making my day. and my sympathies, dude, for the absolute roasting you're getting and will continue to get in this comment section. As to why she didn't say anything, I can only assume she was hoping you would get tired of the song eventually or change up your playlist so that she wouldn't have to tell you herself and make things awkward. Agree that 2 years is a long time. That's fair, but she could have said, OP did offer, he said, hey, are there any songs on this playlist that you want to change or add? To be fair, he did offer, and she could have said, hey, let's switch this out. And yeah, she had a choice. So mistakes were made on both their parts. OP made the mistake of even choosing that song, and OP's girlfriend made the mistake of not changing that song out. So it's on both of them. LOL, I honestly can't imagine how much annoyance she's put up with. My cats left the room and were annoyed hearing the music, and I listened to EDM and stuff. If the cats left, if animals are repulsed by something, by a sound, that says a lot. The fact he felt the need to have a soundtrack for Schmeasurable. Life isn't supposed to be a movie with sound cues. Some people like what they like. But that song, I don't know if anyone should be liking that one. That one, you gotta ask your therapist about that one. I'm just kidding. This must be a god tier shiz post. LOL. I admire your girlfriend's commitment and willpower. I cannot stop laughing at mere thought of someone doing the deed to that song and rhythm. This man's literally did the deed to robot dolphin sounds. This sounds like an inflatable clown toy falling down the stairs. Oh my gosh. I tried it on my wife for the sake of science, and she asked if I'd acquired a head injury. We are 0 for 2 on this one, bud. For the sake of research. That's funny. Commenter's wife was like, are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? Banging like he's trying to avoid calling a sandworm. Shai Halud. What made you think this is a lovemaking song? This is some ish Plankton would play while doing the deed with his computer wife. That is the best description for this I've ever read. Kudos to you. Bro does the deed like a dial-up modem. That is so funny. That is so funny. Why don't you just try being present with your lady? Pay attention to the sounds she makes. Not whatever that was. Okay, now I really want to hear the entire playlist. I feel uncomfortable. Oh, do people like this really exist? Like, what is happening? The modern man. The internet has ruined us. All right, last story. Today I messed up by stuffing my face with edibles before dinner with my wife's parents. My. Was it that bad that you needed edibles to get through the dinner? Recently, I traveled to Denver, Colorado with my wife and my wife's parents as a resident of a non-legalized state and as someone who is too much of a cat to regularly buy illegal drugs. The thing I was looking forward to most was the chance to buy fancy legal grass. What could possibly go wrong? So the first thing I do upon arriving, and after successfully ditching the in-laws, is drag my wife to a nearby dispensary for a shopping spree. Dang, a whole shopping spree? You are not kidding around. And oh my gosh, it was just like in my dreams. Tons of different options and neat little sample jars, and a team of helpful stoners walking me through the various strains. Are you looking for a mellow body high? Or do you want something that gives you a bit more pep and energy? Or are you hoping for something light to take the stress off? Wow, they are grass connoisseurs. Yes, yes, and yes, I reply eagerly, like a fat kid in a candy store, and request an eighth ounce of about 7 different options. In hindsight, if I learned anything from this experience, it is that my math and science teachers never taught me basic information like what is an ounce or how much grass can a person consume in a single weekend. Honestly, you should have asked the workers, and the workers should have been like, do you do this regularly? Or, be careful. You don't need a little bit. Sure, I can tell you when, or, they probably just want to push the product, right? So They want to get that commission if there's any. Probably not. They just want to be good employees, I guess. Or they're just passionate about their craft. They're just passionate about grashing it, if you will. Sure, I can tell you when two speeding trains leaving separate stations will collide or recite Avogadro's number, but it turns out that none of that information is particularly relevant to getting high in a responsible and efficient manner. Honestly, school never taught us taxes. What else did they not teach us? Well, I hear that they're teaching that now. About time, America. Anyway, and it was at this dispensary that I also learned that you can't actually smoke in public places, including the hotel that my wife and I were staying at. As a result, before leaving, I begged my wife to buy some edibles that I could munch on until we found a place to properly get lit. Lit! After expressing shock as to the absurd volume of drugs, can I say that on YouTube? Drugs? Drogas? That we were buying. Unlike me, she is a product of private school and understands the imperial measurement system. She relents, and we walk out of the store with what felt like a dump truck of grass, plus a small package of seemingly innocuous ginger snap cookies. Ooh, snaps to you. I cannot snap. Sounds like lighting a match. When we finally get back to the hotel room, I tear those bad boys open, only to find about a dozen tiny cookies, roughly the size of a quarter. What the heck, Denver? Seeing the skepticism and hunger in my eyes, my wife warns me that I should go easy and look at the back of the package first before trying one. Yeah, you should probably listen to your private school educated wife. Dose size, half cookie. I read silently as I started taking micro bites from the edges like a giant chinchilla gnawing on a sunflower seed. Did that person write this? Or is this AI? Or did he also take a creative writing class like in the last video? But what kind of savage only eats half a cookie? So a second later, I covertly pop the remainder into my mouth. And then I quickly stuff another two quick cookies into my mouth. I cannot read today. What is happening? It's because my neck, my back, I'm sweaty in those places. It'd be hot today. And then I quickly stuff another two cookies in my mouth for good measure. The moment my wife turns her back, we may not have legal weed back home, but I routinely devour an entire package of Milanos in one sitting without breaking a sweat. Your move, Ginger Snaps. But those Milanos are drogas free, right? Like, it's not the same thing. This public school educated man, I'm not pooping on public school education. I went to a public high school, hey. And I also went to a private education. Obviously, it's not showing. I also went to a private school in elementary and middle school, although it's not showing right now. I think I'm lightheaded because it's hot, okay? Don't judge me. We do not judge. About 30 minutes later, we are in the back seat of our parents' rental car on the way to dinner, and that's when things start to go breast up. My stomach growls loudly and angrily. My wife looks at me with inquisitive eyes that seem to say, "Diarrhea?" But I merely clutch my tummy and mumble something about altitude sickness. That's funny. You didn't eat a whole cookie, did you? She asks, 10% in genuine concern and 90% in seething irritation. Of course not, I respond, avoiding eye contact for the remainder of the car ride. A few minutes later, we are climbing out of her parents' rental car and heading into some trendy farm-to-table restaurant. I don't remember how I made it to my seat, and I don't remember even looking at the menu, but I do remember the concerned look on the waiter's face as he asked me if I was doing all right. Keep it together, man, I say to myself, but my wife's sudden groan suggests that I may have also said that to the waiter. I'm sure the waiter sees this a lot. Things are going downhill fast. Oh my gosh, I'm crying. At this point, my wife's mom looks over at me with some concern. Are you all right? She asks kindly. Yeah, the food's just a bit spicy, I reply, far too quick to realize that we had literally just ordered. And there is nothing on the table except for a basket of dinner rolls. Oh my god. Oh, this guy is in the clouds. My wife kicks me under the table to grab my attention. Bathroom now, she hisses. Get it together. I reluctantly get up from the table and head for the toilet. After splashing several handfuls of water on my face, I approach a urinal and start to pee. Now, one of the most disconcerting effects of those tiny ginger snap monsters is a feeling that time has become untethered from reality. As I am peeing, I start to get the very unsettling feeling that I have been taking a piss for the better part of an hour and that my wife must be pacing around the restaurant worried about me. But deep down, I know that is absurd. I've been peeing all my life, sometimes multiple times a day. Kudos to you, sir. I've probably taken more than 50,000 leaks, and it usually only takes about a minute at most. I've probably taken more than 50,000 leaks, and it usually only takes about a minute at most. So, given that my typical pee is no more than 60 seconds, and given that it feels like I am about halfway done, that means I've probably only been standing here about 30 seconds, right? But the guy at the urinal next to me doesn't respond and instead starts shuffling away from me midstream like a startled penguin. I try, albeit unsuccessfully, to break eye contact. After finally finishing, I again splash some water on my face and return to my seat, making sure to apologize to the table for being gone such a long time, just in case my math is off. Next, I try briefly to engage in small talk with my wife's father. I am far too high in the clouds to understand what either of us are saying, not wanting to start laughing uncontrollably at the wrong moment, or really at any moment. I figure the safest idea is to nod my head periodically and drink a ton of water. Nothing cures mental fatigue like water, right? To my wife's horror, I stand up, grab my water glass, and thrust it out to the waiter. who is unfortunately is on the opposite side of the restaurant. But he turns out to be really cool, and after making his way over to our table, tells me that he'll do his best to keep me stocked with ice water for the rest of the meal. He also helpfully suggests that if the dinner rolls aren't too spicy for me, I should probably eat one or two so I'm not sitting there on an empty stomach. That is a good waiter, top tier service. Oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna get through the rest of this without laughing. I'm trying to hold it together. Smart man. However, after going through all of the bread on the table and 3 glasses of water, I start to get worried that I need actual food to offset the growing paranoia from those tiny ginger snap devils. Do you think I should flag down the waiter again and ask what's taking so long? I suggest helpfully to my wife. What? We literally just ordered 3 minutes ago. And at that exchange, my wife loses her cool. How many cookies did you eat? She demands. Whoa, easy there. Torquemada? What's that? I'll look it up. Torquemada? Empanada? Torvana? Torquemada? I'll look it up later. Whoa, easy there, Torquemada, I respond, somehow somewhat horrified at her outburst. I had a few cookies, but keep it down. I don't want your parents to know how messed up I am right now. Really? They're sitting 2 feet away from you. They know. I mean, good thing he's already married to her, so not as pressured, to impress the parents if they weren't married. You already sealed the deal, if you will. I look up and for the first time notice both of my in laws just staring at me for what literally felt like an eternity. TLDR ate way too many edibles on a trip and wigged out during a dinner with my wife and her parents. Edit. Wow, thanks everyone for all the love and for even some of the hate. I think I have officially peaked in life. As for part two of the story, there's a reason, or technically 3 delicious reasons, why it was cut short. At that point, my wife's singular focus was on getting me out of the restaurant before I either puked all over the table or peed myself, or an unsightly combination of both. So after a few spastic, two-handed waves goodbye to my in-laws, she rushed me to the door like a Secret Service agent evacuating the president. My night after that was a whirlwind of barfing and groveling, mixed with a few vain attempts at getting handsy. Back in the hotel room, the audacity of this guy. Oh my gosh, bold, are we? But being the absolute awesome sweetie that she is, my wife stuck with me through the whole nightmare, whispering over and over in my ear, "Please don't die. We have a mortgage." This is too funny. Is this written by a human or AI? How low I must think of humans that they can't be this funny. I'm just kidding. I really hope it was written by a human. I am like giggling so much because this is so, I can just visualize it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so comments. The visual of OP standing up to have water poured into his glass from a waiter across the restaurant got me, and so did him linking his sweaty face to the spiciness of the bread. Phenomenal read from start to finish. Yeah, actually, you know what? How funny the story is? I could never. Skynet, don't come after me. Please spare me. The food is too spicy only to realize we had not eaten anything yet. But the guy at the urinal next to me didn't respond. Made me laugh so hard. Agreed. The lack of quotes for his internal dialogue before then is what makes it. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, like I don't even think he said anything to the guy at the urinal. He didn't even talk about him until he made that reference about the guy not saying anything back. Like, oh my god, he was just staring at him the whole time. Oh my gosh. He took 6 times the recommended dose of edibles when he had to do something 30 minutes later. Oh my gosh, OP, you sweet summer child. I remember my first experience with these edibles. Thought pigeons were planning an assault on my life. There are no pigeons where I live. The time I did that, I stayed home because I wasn't sure how it would affect me. The guy behind the counter said, "This is 6 doses. Take only 1/6 of this brownie." Of course, I reiterated this to my husband, but being the sweet addict he is, decided half the brownie was good. Once he ate it, I decided, meh, and did the same thing. Yeah, we slept for 24 hours, made up some weird stories about Channing Tatum riding naked on a unicorn. I'm pretty sure I can remember my body for a while. Can confirm from Denver. This happens often to my out of town friends. I always suggest laying low. That is good advice. Ha ha ha. The part WTF Denver had me thinking, yeah, don't mess around. Those instructions have been tested over and over. Classic. You wanted to, try more for science. I apologize on behalf of all out of towners who balk at these instructions. One of my friends did it on her trip there too. The temptation was too much. The difference with her is that her husband made her leave the restaurant because she was too messed up. She was being loud and trying to bother people at other tables. OP server deserves the fattest of fat tips for being so cool. Seriously. I mean, they're chill. They got legal grass. I want to hear the story as told by the waiter. He's been telling it to his friends as my most messed up customer ever. Nah, it's probably got another tourist. For him, it was a Tuesday. Oh man, that water request. Another! Oh, this looks wrong. Oh my gosh. Was server can confirm. What? This gotta be fake. I'm so skeptical. I'm suspicious, yo. Can't trust no one. What server can confirm high people are one thing. Old dude beaming proudly with his young escort mail order bride coming in thinking he's the first old dude to order a bride or take his escort to dinner was my favorite regular occurrence. The money being slid across the table was the best part. What in the world? Encountered my first escort going on a dinner date before I was even 16, bussing tables at my first restaurant job. Servers see it all. I learned pretty fast. Oh, if you are nosy and want the tea, and if you're for the drama, become a server, apparently. I ate one of those caramel edibles last year, 2 days before Christmas, and was so high in the clouds I forgot what a candy cane was. While I was eating one, cried because dogs exist, cried out of joy, hope, and freaked out that my boyfriend was in a different dimension because his voice sounded both close and far away. We still laugh about it, but I do smaller doses now. Oh, that's funny. Cried because dogs exist. Can't get a better example of how I thought. I love this. One of my fondest college memories is getting messed up on shrooms with my roommate and crying because I'll never know what it's like to be a cat. Mushrooms are so much fun until you go out into the street at 3 a.m. in your boxers because it feels like you're melting into the asphalt. Luckily, I didn't live on a busy street. Unlucky that the neighbors called the police. Next time I'll eat a half eighth rather than a quarter ounce. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. Well, this has been Silly Reddit Stories. Thank you for joining. Hope you had some laughs as I had. And thanks for bearing with me on me trying to read. I realized that the font is too small. And that's why I was stumbling. That's why I was struggling. But yeah, lesson learned for next time. See you next time. And I'll be sure to maximize the font. Toodles. Is that going to be a thing now? Peace out, Girl Scout. Bruh, I can't with myself.